watched a work truck almost run a family minivan off the road, chased down and reported. I was coming home from work one day in my shitbox. I was on a sparsely used rural 2-lane highway about 6 car lengths behind an F350 weight class flatbed truck. The truck slowly starts to drift into the other lane. Meep meep, an oncoming little blue minivan has to go onto the shoulder to avoid a head-on collision. And they overcompensate when getting back on the road and almost hit me, who then had to make the same maneuver and almost go into the ditch to avoid a head-on collision. I see red. The truck keeps going like nothing happened. I follow the truck a few miles until it pulls up to a driveway. I snap a picture of the license plate and company name. The driver absolutely glaring at me. I called the real estate agent's number that was on the side of the truck and informed a lady that one of her drivers was driving erratically, possibly drunk. When I suggested her driver was under the influence, she suggested in a very rude tone that he was probably just messing with his GPS or texting someone. That wouldn't make that family any less dead, would it? You know what? I figured we could talk about this like adults, but if you want to take that attitude with me, we can. Involve the cops. And then I hung up on her and promptly reported the whole thing to the sheriffs. I don't know if I had anything to do with it, but I never saw that work truck in that neighborhood again. That woman's response to your call makes me think that she's received phone calls about that type of behavior several times in the past and just didn't give a shit. You did the right thing by reporting a dangerous driver. Good on you for reporting. Just think, you've potentially saved someone's life. I've always thought, never drive like an ass when your company logo is plastered on the side and rear of the vehicle. You're easy to find, and people will remember that when looking for this or that local service. Such an easy way to lose business to the competition. For the person answering the phone to respond that way. Just doubling down on the stupidity. That driver is an idiot for many reasons, but if he has a CDL and drives like that, he can very easily lose his CDL and there goes his job. Which is what he deserves. Although I guess it depends on the state and country as far as the CDL is concerned. You did the right thing. A lot of people wouldn't have done what you did. Good on you. Messing with GPS or texting is still a distracted driver, which is still illegal. The hell was wrong with the person that answered the phone? I did that once when I saw some fuckface flick a cigarette on a road between my city and a little mountain town a few kilometers away during forest fire season. I was so mad I practically yelled at the dispatch. She calmed me down by being equally mad. She swore up and down that the driver would be in serious shit once the owner found out, because smoking was not even allowed in their trucks, let alone flicking butts out the window. If you haven't yet, get a dashcam too. Footage would have been a good follow-up to the woman after her rudeness. Would have been satisfying to hear her sputtering that he must have just been messing with his GPS. Or was texting while driving. I reported an older woman in a massive 4-door luxury car for trying to text and drive. She nearly sideswiped us and people were actively dodging her. Fortunately, HWP responded almost immediately. I was on the phone with the dispatcher but actually saw them go past us and pull her over. I told my friend who works in for HWP and he told me that the woman said it was her right to text and drive and argued with them and ended up arrested because she started to drive off texting again. Poor dear. Her driver was sick and she had to drive herself to lunch face with rolling eyes. I watched a fuel tanker merge across 2 lanes for no reason and almost wipe out a minivan with a whole family inside. Luckily for the driver, this was long before dash cams. I called 911 and told what happened, trying to get him to come stop the truck as I drove slow in front of it, trying to get him to pull over. He ended up whipping across 2 lanes again to take an exit. At which point the 911 operator told me they weren't going to pursue anything. So I gave up. I still see red every time I see a truck with that logo. Texting is almost as bad. I like your attitude. You gave her a chance. Imagine having a dash cam video to turn over. Thanks for doing the right thing. I think a Google review of the business including this story might be in order. You did your civic duty. I reported someone once when I was in my early 20s, and I myself was innocent back then in the early 80s. But the car in front of me was crossing the center line and almost hitting trees on the other left side of the road. I knew if someone was coming the other way it would be carnage. This was before cell phones and I was terrified. Finally the drunk pulled onto Dunkin' Donuts and I went inside and called the cops. You can't fix stupid, but at least you tried. I would have done the same thing as you did. Like texting while driving would make it okay. Illegal in many places. Professional drivers, truckers, etc. have stickers on their trucks asking to get reported for such behavior. Good job. And for the lady's excuse, I don't know about your country, but just messing with the GPS or just texting someone is fined in my country euro 380 United States dollars 418 in 2023 plus administrative charges. Saw what appeared to be a drunk driver in a school zone. She nearly hit a car with children in it. I called the local police to report it. They were very rude to me and then told me that unless they saw it happen, they couldn't do anything about it. That was all that happened. Another reason to have a dashcam. Was almost smoked by an 18-wheeler 4 months ago. Called his company and emailed the video to the lady on the phone as well as multiple other people's email on the company's website I found and the ODOT. I had to go into oncoming traffic on a 4-lane bridge when he turned into my lane coming off the interstate. I don't want anyone to lose their job. But I really hope this guy did. Messing with the GPS or texting as if that's a valid excuse to almost kill someone. Wow. I've called the "How is my driving" number on the back of major freight companies to report drivers being idiots. Followed one for over an hour, and every time me or someone would try to pass, they would swerve to the side to prevent it. Called the number. Reported the trailer number since I couldn't get the truck number. And about 2 minutes later the truck pulled off and stopped. And you could tell they were on the phone as I passed. I call in dangerous truck drivers when I can. They are supposed to be professional and deserve to be fired if they can't avoid driving like an ass. Thank you for doing this. My sill was hit by a chunk of concrete that fell out of an unsecured dump truck. It was way overfilled. There were chunks all over the road and another car got a flat tire from hitting it. Luckily she only has cosmetic damage but a bit in either direction and she could have been killed. With my niece in the car. Cops didn't do shit. Just checked she had insurance and that was that. Complete bullshit. I once reported a tier truck that was driving erratically and almost ran over pilgrims more than once. It was pilgrimage season over here. Called 112 equivalent to 911 and gave the description and license plate. Unfortunately I don't know what came of it. But I'll do it again if I see that shit again.